McIntyre, let me ask you to stand.
Tamor McIntyre stood as the judge read the verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Tamor Trevon McIntyre, guilty of the lesser included offense of murder.
McIntyre faces 5 years to life, but he has a chance at early parole, which would not have been an option if he had been found guilty of capital murder. A series of Tarrant County jailers testified McIntyre's been a troublemaker, throwing wet toilet paper, smuggling in a cell phone, making threats, and talking trash.
If I see you on the street, you better run.
And his song about running from crime made him known. But teenage rapper Tay K will not be able to run from a now 55-year prison sentence. Delivered, in fact, by a jury earlier today in Fort Worth. Jason Allen was in the courtroom for the murder trial. He's joining us live right outside the Tim Curry Criminal Justice Center. Our top story at 5. Jason.
Doug, the jury deliberated for a little longer than 3 hours today here before deciding on that 55-year sentence. That song that raised the profile of Tamor Tay K McIntyre in the end also likely played a role in that prison sentence. Tamor McIntyre ever so slightly rolled his head to the side as a judge announced his 55-year prison sentence for the murder of Ethan Walker. The decision came 2 years after Tay K rapped in his song The Race that there was a case he couldn't beat.
I think it was part of a career move that went wrong.
The song was certified platinum for the 19-year-old, but prosecutors argued it was also an example of the teen's character. They urged the jury to consider it when deciding on a sentence for the 2016 home invasion and robbery where Walker was killed. And afterward, Walker's parents said every lyric had their son's blood on it.
Every time we look up, it seems like we're seeing news about the song, seeing praise about the song, and seeing you literally dancing on Ethan's grave. But you've gotten enough attention.
McIntyre's defense team, which helped him avoid a life sentence, argued that though the song was offensive, it was art. They were pushing for nothing longer than a 20-year deal other teens received in the case, but the jury saw it differently.
You're still here. You're still here. My son is gone. He's a box of ashes sitting in my living room. He's gone.
I seen 4 people come in with guns and masks and hoodies, and then they came straight into my room.
A survivor of the shooting, Zach Belote, testified today he realized he'd been set up for the crime by a girl he thought he was dating. That's a point McIntyre's defense team has been keen on, that 5 other individuals, along with a juvenile, were actually responsible for planning the robbery and shooting the 2 victims.
Ask yourself, when we talk about what's reasonable and not reasonable in this case, ask yourself at that moment in time, as Tay K is running inside that house with 2 guys armed with guns, and one of them armed with a set of brass knuckles, what his expectations were from that night. He's already pled guilty to you today, saying, hey, I'm guilty that I knew that somebody was going to get threatened, but I'm not going to be guilty of a crime I didn't anticipate. That will be the testimony. But that's not reasonable. Put yourself in that situation right then and consider the evidence about what he knew in this case and when he knew it. Ladies and gentlemen, Ethan Walker was sitting on a stool in a bedroom with his girlfriend Alyssa Rao playing video games when he was killed. He wasn't hurting anybody. Let me just ask you this question. When you saw that person come around the corner with a mask on his face, how did you feel?
I was scared, very scared.
Did you have any idea at that moment about what was going on?
I was in shock and I was confused.
Was that person holding anything?
Okay.
Tay agreed to participate in a robbery. Tay participated in a robbery. But he stood up here yesterday in front of you and in front of this court and accepted responsibility for what he agreed to do and what he participated in, and pled guilty to the robbery by threats using a gun, threatened somebody with a gun in counts 3 and counts 4. The girls planned this. They set it up, and the boys were supposed to come in and hold everybody off. And Tay K had a bag. He was going to get the money and the drugs from under the couch and run back out. Well, that's not what happened. Everything went tragically wrong in there.
But Tuesday, appearing older after 2 years in jail, he sat quietly in the courtroom while prosecutors laid out a case he knew a plan to steal drugs and money would end in murder.
So Tay K's response was, hey, no problem. We can take care of that.
Tamor McIntyre is facing a capital murder charge for the death of 21-year-old Ethan Walker. He was living in the house where McIntyre and 6 others believed they'd find drugs and money in 2016. He's accused of recruiting friends who had guns to help with the robbery, and Walker's girlfriend said they were just in a room playing video games when the home invasion happened.
At first, he came around the corner and he said, get on the ground.
Okay.
I think he said it 2 or 3 times. Me and Ethan both responded and said, there's nothing here. Ethan had his hands up and he got shot in the stomach.
Though he admits being at the house, McIntyre's attorney argued there's no way he could have known a planned robbery would turn into a murder.
And I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, the evidence will not support that conclusion because they have to prove that beyond any reasonable doubt that he should have known that that intentional killing would happen.
So TayK is back in the news, bruh. Free TayK till it's backwards. I don't give no fucks. Free TayK is the movement. So ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. TayK has filed an appeal for his unfair and unjust 55-year sentence. Damn. Like I mentioned in my last video, TayK was given a 55-year sentence. According to reports, the appeal was filed after the sentence on Tuesday. Most people were thinking the same thing. The defense will probably appeal the 55-year sentence because holy fuck. How the fuck could you give somebody 5 decades? 5 decades to the guy who didn't even shoot? Damn. We'll just have to wait and see what goes on with the appeal, how that works, how long it takes. We'll just have to wait and see. TayK filing an appeal, to be honest, is a good thing. Maybe the sentence can be reduced. Maybe that first day out by TayK drops before 2075. Who the fuck knows? But 55 years, that's just motherfucking unjust. That is unfair. Your boy Alfred will keep you updated if there's any developments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your boy Alfred out.
I just wanna